What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to get into a couple of things. First of all, the September update that Microsoft just rolled out for us. That is right. Another month has come and gone, and just like we saw last month in August, where Microsoft put out this update that added all sorts of stuff to Discord on our Xbox consoles, they're doing it again. Hopefully this time there won't be as many problems. Before I get into that though, I do have to apologize. I'm sorry to my console bros out there, console only dudes. You only have an Xbox Series X or S or even an Xbox One. This September update, it doesn't have a ton of stuff for console people, not yet, but they do have some interesting features that are being implemented that may become part of your everyday life, depending on if you pick up the next generation of Xbox hardware. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first change that they are rolling out as part of this update. There is a new compact mode for the Windows gaming bar. This is something that they started testing out in August and it's now officially rolled out to everyone. Let's go ahead and take a look at what has changed and why console players might be interested in this. So before we get into the changes that compact mode is bringing to the Xbox game bar, let's take a look at how it looks right now. As you can see, you pull it up, you're probably familiar with it at this point. If not, well, here it is. For me, it pops up in the top middle of my screen, and then whenever you press a widget, it pops up with a separate window. As you can see here, I have mine grouped over on the left side, and then once you close them out, you have everything just in that little bar at the top. Now let's take a look at how this thing looks in compact mode. If you want to switch it on for yourself, you go on over to General Settings, and it's right there on that first little tab. You just turn compact mode from off to on, and then click it again. Boom, it shifts on over for me to that left side over here. And in this home screen, you can see your most commonly played games, commonly used launchers. They have nice little icons now with a pop of color. And then you can also add a couple of widgets like you can with the standard game bar. So boom, you want to control your audio. Boom, you want a way to just go and capture stuff. Anything that you want to keep an eye on your performance, you can open a tab for that as well. Pretty much the same thing, except now when you open a widget, it doesn't open in a separate window. With the standard Windows game bar, that's cool because you have access to a keyboard and mouse, presumably. This is obviously catered to a controller. So you're able to navigate it like you would kind of with an Xbox guide on your console. I don't really mind this, honestly. I see a couple of people online saying it feels rushed, it feels like they came up with this in an afternoon and just rolled it out. And I don't know, I like it. I'm not the intended audience here. I don't often use controller whenever I play on PC. And I also don't have a Windows gaming device like the ROG Ally. I could see something like this being very helpful in both of those situations. And it's obviously going to be very helpful if Microsoft ever decides to put out their own Xbox handheld. But now that they have the compact game bar going on, what I would really personally like to see is some sort of big picture mode for the Xbox app, similar to what we have with Steam. Just to give you an example, I open up Steam, bam, and right here is kind of this intended sweet spot for Steam. Of course, I do have an unnecessarily large monitor, so whenever I put it into full screen, it's just not enough content to fill up the app. But you go on over to big picture mode, and that looks a lot more appealing if you're gaming on a bigger monitor or you're on a TV. Obviously, once again, the intended use for this is, well, it's obviously easier to navigate something like this with a controller versus the other interface. But over on the Xbox app, you have the same problem. When it's on this half of the screen, it's perfectly fine. But if you expand it to full screen, suddenly it's running into similar issues that we saw with the Steam page. Since Xbox is already on this trajectory of, oh, let's make a more optimized game bar for handhelds and PCs, it would be cool to see them work on a big picture mode, which again would be very helpful for a potential Xbox handheld. When it's in handheld mode, you have access to a compact game bar that you can pull up whenever you're playing a game. And then, hey, when you hook up that Xbox handheld to a monitor, to a TV, would be really nice to have a big picture mode versus just blowing up what is in that compact design and slapping it on a TV. They have a lot of really interesting options here, and I can't wait to see what they do, especially if they continue to blur the line between console and PC. They're also throwing in a feature that will allow us to hopefully better manage our game installations. They basically made it to where if you have any add-ons or additional content related to one game title, you'll be able to view them all in one single place. Sounds like common sense, sounds like that should have been something that has been there all along, but hey, better late than never. Also starting in September, it looks like Xbox is gearing up for something major in terms of their mobile gaming efforts, or at the very least making sure that we don't have a billion Xbox apps on our phones. Okay, maybe not a billion, right now I have 3. I have the Xbox app, I have the Xbox Game Pass app, and then I have this app, not really an app situation for Xbox Cloud Gaming. We at least know that Xbox can't really have a native cloud gaming app on any mobile device, especially on iOS, because Apple pretty much makes it impossible to make money from having a separate gaming storefront on their platform. So we might be waiting a while for a native cloud gaming app that is not just a shortcut to xbox.com/play, but starting with this September update, they were going to start phasing out at least the Xbox Game Pass app. They're beginning the work of transferring a lot of the features that were in that Game Pass app over to just the regular Xbox One. And just as a reminder, as part of these changes, they're not going to be supporting downloads of this Game Pass app or anything related to it starting in November. Now, yes, it is good that they are consolidating those two apps, but I gotta be honest here, I don't really use the Game Pass app on my phone. It's like, ooh, I could browse the Game Pass catalog and manage my membership, and oh, what else can I do? I guess I can remotely install games and be up to date on what's coming and going from Game Pass. But here's the deal, I ate up through my internal storage pretty quickly on my Series X, and Game Pass, the app on the phone, does not have the ability to remotely download games to an external storage device. I guess you can use it to cash in your Game Pass quests and get your points or whatever, but in a roundabout way, it makes this move good because those features that I was just talking about do not warrant a standalone app. So let's go over what you can do with the Xbox app, and they lay it out in a very nice little graphic on the Xbox Wire. You can check your socials, you can DM people on your friends list, you can even join a party chat on your phone, you can view any game clips or recordings that you've uploaded to the Xbox Live network, you can check your notifications, see if anyone has friend requested you, any updates on your achievements, and also anytime you have rewards to check in. And of course, like we already mentioned, you can remotely install games and you can use remote play, streaming the gameplay from your Xbox console to your phone or your tablet. But console owners aren't left out entirely with this new September update. No, Microsoft's throwing you a bone and letting you pre-install updates. That way you don't fire up your favorite game only to be hit with, oh guys, I gotta wait for a little bit, I gotta download this update. There's only a couple of games that support this right now. Obviously, Xbox is not gonna know when every third-party game is gonna be hit with an update or a patch, but I imagine going forward that most first-party games are gonna support this, as well as some close third-party partners. And if you wanna take advantage of this feature yourself, you just gotta go to My Games and Apps, Manage, Updates, and then you'll be able to see all the available pre-downloads that you can use. If none of this is exciting for you, how about a new controller? I know, just what we need, another Xbox controller. You know, a lot of people complain about it. They're like, Xbox is always putting out these new controllers. They're not putting out any games. I'm like, first of all, yes, they are putting out games. Second of all, the controllers are cool. And even though I already have an Elite Series 2 controller right here, I kind of want to buy another one thanks to this new lineup that they have, the Cypher series. Basically, they're cashing in on 2000s nostalgia where everyone was making things translucent. Gaming controllers, chairs, computers. You'll be able to customize your own in the design lab, which I thought was really cool. And if that's a little bit too much for you, you're like, this looks cool, but I don't want to spend $150 on an Elite Series 2. They're coming out with a standalone, just regular Xbox controller with this design. It's called the Ghost Cypher Edition. And that's going to be out sometime in October. Perfect time to release Ghost Halloween related hardware, I guess. The last time I got a translucent Xbox controller, it was this guy right here, the 20th anniversary Xbox controller. I get a lot of compliments on this thing. Every time I post it, everyone's like, ooh, that's a really nice controller, or ooh, it's my favorite one. I gotta be careful with this one because it's already starting to see a little bit of wear and tear. Got some scratches on the back, so just a little bit, and then the thumbsticks, you can kind of see some like it's loved, it's been used. Outside of that, Xbox did provide us with another update, albeit one that I don't imagine a lot of people are gonna care about. A progress update on their carbon reduction goals over at Xbox. Now, this is an initiative that they started a couple of years ago, and notoriously, a couple of members of Congress were like, what? Xbox is trying to push this like power saving mumbo jumbo. This ain't the Xbox that I fell in love with, not the one that I grew up with. This was when they're making changes to like making all Xbox consoles default to like power saving mode instead of the instant on or whatever they call it now. But apparently they're doing pretty good. Xbox has cut down on their emissions to the point where they save more than 3 billion car miles, or at least that's what the equivalent of the expenditure would be. And a large part of that was, well, having to do with their new sustainability toolkit that they've been rolling out to a couple of developers. We know for a fact that 343 Industries is one of the studios that has this kit, and apparently Activision also had it for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and 3. It could be pretty interesting, and while you might be sitting there like, why the hell would I care about any of this? Being able to save on power and energy in any given game without sacrificing graphics and performance could once again be related to that handheld that we were talking about earlier. Okay, that might be a bit of a stretch. Not everything has to be about an Xbox handheld. I get it. But knowing how to maximize power without sacrificing performance, right now they're doing all that stuff to pursue another goal to cut down on their carbon footprint. But maybe, just maybe, that's all I'm saying, maybe it could be helpful down the line when they're trying to figure out how they maximize battery life for their handhelds. One of the examples that they gave out last time they talked about this in terms of real practical applications of this environmentally friendly dev kit was that developers were able to see real time the power consumption of whatever they were doing, whatever was happening in the game. And they were able to find, oh, this is a loading screen. Why is it using so much power? This is stupid. We should cut that down. If you're one of the few that want to read up on all of this stuff and how Microsoft and Xbox are doing, how they're saving the world one Xbox console at a time, you can go on over to the Xbox Wire and read all about it yourself. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, if you like my content, if you want to stay up to date on everything that Xbox has going on, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.